Everybody, it's Miss Howard and Bridget here, and we are back for another installment of our first grade Foundations Phonics story time. So it's a little bit different today. We're going to be reading a story as opposed to breaking down words, but trust there'll be plenty of words for us to work with. So let's get started today. So of course we have to start with Bridget's favorite part, the I can statement, because if we say it and we believe it, surely we can do it. So repeat after us. I can describe character, setting, and main events. And no, not like main event up the street, even though Bridget and I love going there too. But main events, the important things that happen in a story. Let's keep going. So let's review some words for the day. So hopefully Bridget and I didn't trick you too bad last week, because this week we're looking at those words again. So remember, these little pictures in the corners are there to help us kind of remember what these words are, because we can't sound them out just by looking at them. So this one, think of an owl and what an owl says. Whoo, whoo. This word is who. Repeat after me. This word is who. This word is who. What's this word? What's this word? You got it. All right, so this picture, she's trying to hear what he's saying, but she really can't hear at all. So she is saying, what? What? I'm sorry, what did you say? What? This word is, this word is, this word is, just like that. You got it. Now remember, some of these words we really can't look at and automatically sound it out. So it's going to really help us if we remember what these words are when we look at them. So this one, think about how time moves too slow. You're ready for lunch. You're ready for dinner. You're ready to go to bed. You're saying, when can I do this? When? Okay? So whenever you see this word, think of time ticking and just feeling really impatient. You might be asking, when? This word is good. So this word has a couple of different meanings, but we're focusing on this word meaning like the number 1. Okay? So this is baby Patrick. He's so cute, and he is, how old do you think? 1 year old. Okay? 1 year old. So he's only 1 year old. This word is good. The word is 1. And those were all of our words of the day. Make sure that you review those so that next time you can just look and say them. And if you can already do that, awesome sauce to you. So now it's time to review our glued sounds. We went over 3 glued sounds last week. So this week, we'll just kind of refresh our memory because they're going to be in our story. So my glued sounds are letters that are together that make one sound. I don't sound them out separately. They are together forever. So in this first section here, I have A-N-G, fang, ang. Your turn. Good. The middle column, I have I-N-G, ring, ing. Good. The last column, I have O-N-G, song, ong. Dexter is really rooting for you there. So we're going to practice each column, and let's start with the first one. And we're going to move kind of quick, so pay attention. A-N-G, bang, ang. A-N-G, bang, ang. A-N-G, bang, ang. Good job. Let's move to the middle column. I-N-G, ring, ing. I-N-G, ring, ing. I-N-G, ring, ing. Not bad, Bridget, they're doing pretty well. Let's go to our last glued sound. O-N-G, song, ong. O-N-G, song, ong. O-N-G, song, ong. Give yourself a round of applause. That was pretty good. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special message. Hey kids, it's phonics time. You ready for this? Here we go. Hey, your students, Go ahead, grab your book. Thought you wanted me to go ahead and try to get you hooked on phonics. We're about to read a really cool story. I promise you, it won't really be boring. Reading is just so much fun. Fun, fun. I like it better than chewing gum. Gum, gum. Now back to the lesson. It's time to practice like pros. And like we just sang about, it's time for our story, okay? So we haven't done this before, so pay attention. We are going to be reading about, drumroll please, King Sam. And King Sam might look a little familiar to you. Anyway, so the first thing I want us to do is take a look at this title. Do you see any glued sounds in this title? Think really hard. ing, ring, ing. So we have a glued sound right in our title, and you can see we still have that ing sound. So pay attention to a bunch of these different words. They will probably have a glued sound that you might recognize. So the title, like we said, is King Sam, and we're going to read about King Sam. And I want you to pay attention to the characters, who's in the story, the setting, where the story is taking place, and the main events. So any important things that are happening in the beginning, middle, or end. So the first thing that we're going to do is read the story. Follow along. If you want to try and read the story by yourself, please pause the video and give it a go. Otherwise, follow along. King Sam sings to the kids. The king cannot sing. His song is bad. The kids say, "Stop!" The king winks and the song stops. The kids say, "Thank you, King Sam." The end. So that's a pretty simple story. Why don't you say you try and read the story? Find any of those glued sounds and write them down. Once you have that, we can move on to the next part. So now that we've read the story, it's time to really dissect it or go deeper into it and look for those story elements. So here's a chart, and you can make it at home on paper towel, anything that you can write on with permission. So the story elements that we're going to be focusing on are, like we said, the characters. Who's in the story? Who is talking in our story? The setting. Where is this story taking place? And main events. What happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end? So for our first section, characters, think back to our story, King Sam, and ask yourself, who is talking in the story? Who is the story about? Pause the video and either tell someone or write down who you think all the characters in this story are. Do you have your answer yet? Bridget and I would love to hear who you think the characters are. Wow, Bridget, did you hear that? They said, oh, they said King Sam. Hey, and someone even said the children. I think I read your mind on that one. That's pretty good. Yeah, both King Sam and the children were talking in our story. The story was about how King Sam couldn't sing, but also how the kids problem solved to get the singing to stop. So good. Our characters in this story are King Sam and the children. Let's move on to something a little trickier with this story, the setting. So usually with the setting, you can figure out where the story is taking place because you can either see pictures or something in the words tell you where they are. Maybe they say it's raining outside, so you know they're outside. Or they say they're in their room, so you know they're in their house. But with this story, did you read any clues to help us figure out where the story was taking place? Miss Howard and Bridget didn't read any clues. So we're going to make an inference or a really good guess. Bridget and I think this story could take place in a couple of different places. Maybe they're outside. Maybe they're in a castle. What do you think? Pause the video, tell someone, or write it down. Bridget, I think they're ready. Let's see what they said compared to what we said. Yeah, Bridget and I gave ourselves away early. We think this story could take place outside somewhere, maybe under a nice tree, or at the castle because, after all, King Sam is a king. Whatever you wrote is fine. Now it's time for the main events. So, this part can be tricky. Really think back. What's the first thing that happened? What happened in the beginning of the story? Interesting. If you need more time, pause the video, tell someone, or write it down. Otherwise, let's get started. So I hear some friends are already telling us what happened in the beginning. But don't forget, think, what happened after that? The middle of the story. After you have that, really think, what happened at the end? Once you have all of those big ideas down or have told someone, compare to what Bridget and I wrote. So the first thing we said was King Sam started singing. That was one of the first things we read in the story. The second part that we said, what happened in the middle, was that the kids asked him to stop singing. Remember, the kids said stop because King Sam was no good. The last thing we said happened, the third main event, was that King Sam stopped singing and the kids thanked him. Aw, what a happy ending. Did you get similar events? What did you get? And friends, that takes us to the end of our video. Thank you so much for hanging with me and Bridget all the way to the end. Make sure to use your new chart to retell a story.